I'll show you how I do things.
How's that for road rash?
Hey everybody, I'm CafeKaz, and today we're going to be looking at the newest ML 5-star Last Rider Krau. You know you wanted to see the content. My supporters came out in full force, and I was able to pull Last Rider Krau. It was painful. We got it done. So I gave as many molas as I could for now. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish the skill 3, so I'm missing 10% damage on that, but hopefully I'll get a debut over to you that is good enough to be a true YouTuber, okay? I've got him geared up on speed immunity set. I think that's the ideal build for him, and I've got stats. Now, I don't have as high HP as other people, maybe not as high speed, but I've got an amazing amount of defense, and here's why. His damage multipliers are not that insane, meaning that losing a little bit of HP for an insane amount of defense is, I think, the play, right? So I went up 1950 defense, 23.6k HP. I'm rocking a holy sack. Yes, I know it's not 100%, but I want to try out this artifact. Now, I could try out Hilag Lance, but I think that holy sack will be very, very nice as well, just because getting an extra horse in could mean winning or losing the game. With all this out of the way, I'm running on speed set, defense, HP. Okay, and defense ring because it's a 32% HP ring, so that's why I have so much defense as well. I think that he's going to be great. I think he's going to be an insane counter to ML Tywin, so that's right. Starting today, we will not be banning ML Tywin. And let's jump right into it. Okay, so we're banning out Rowana here because obviously we ban Rowana. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to pick Alencia and our Last Rider Krau.
I'll show you how I do things.
Okay, this guy ended up picking Tenebria. I don't know why he picked it so early, though. I feel like that's going to be a problem for him. I'm going to go ahead and drop my Dizzy. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draft up my Ruel. And then I'm going to bide my time. Yeah, I'm going to wait to see what he picks here before I choose my damage dealer. I think RB is going to be very strong here as well. Or maybe Deanne. I actually do not have Deanne geared right now. But I think this is going to be the play. Unfortunately, he just has a raw Tenebria here, so I'm unable to actually draft up a, I guess, like, counter comp to him. But it's fine.
You don't look very appetizing, but oh well.
You in chat? You sniping me right now? What's going on? Why are you picking that ML Haste? Why would you raw? Okay. Alright, whatever. Alright, we'll lock in our Fire Charlotte. Okay, so I think I'm gonna ban this out. Yeah, he's waiting on the ban! He's 100% sniping right. 1,000,000%. Infinity percent. Alright. So now we're going to see the power of ML Krau. Alright, let's do this shit. We should be perfectly fine here. Krau should run through them. Wow, his Spec T is actually ridiculously fast. So she's actually faster than my 205 speed ML Krau. He decides to go into my Alencia. So it looks like he's going to try to pop her first. But I should be able to survive this. Maybe. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. He pulled the right unit there. Yeah, I do survive.
Why don't you just surrender?
Okay, so I'm gonna skill 3 with Krau.
Shall we bring this to a close?
I do want my immunity buff here is the only unfortunate part. And I'm gonna skill 3 again here. And I think I moved before his Blood Moon Haste, so I should be able to skill 1 with ML Charlotte, and I should be perfectly fine here. He ends up counterattacking. Decides to skill 2.
Torment you.
Charlotte can clap. And I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to lay down a skill 3. As long as I slow this Lilius here, I think I'm perfectly fine. I do end up landing the slow. Yeah, Ilela stripped as well. The nice thing, though, is that every single person on my team had immunity for when that Tenny moved. So even though she had Ilela's violin, it didn't matter. He's able to heal up a little bit here, but that's perfectly fine. I still have immunity on 2 of my units as well. He can go for an AoE. What I'm going to do is I'm going to soften this up a little bit. And he can go for S3 here, but it'll only go into my Dizzy, so there's no real point to. Decides to skill 1 my Charlotte, does end up missing, does not proc Ilela's violin. I'm able to do damage for free here, and he can go for an S3. Oh, because she has such hops? Yeah. Decides to provoke. Who's he going to provoke? Decides to provoke my Dizzy. That's surprising. Does Idol's Cheer push up? I still do have immunity on my Krau. He decides to soul burn this here. The unfortunate part is that my Dizzy was a little bit slow, and she did end up getting hit by the Lilius there.
Alright, let's have some fun.
Krau got a 1-turn decrease. I am now 1 turn away from getting my next S3 going. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this Lilius here. I've got speed buff, which means I'm going to be moving next. So you can hit into me. He decided to try to strip my speed buff. Does end up stripping it off. Unfortunate. But I still move first. I'm going to soul burn S3. Lay in the damage. So actually, Krau is kind of like a soft counter to control as well, right? If you actually do get him in versus no strippers, it's very, very hard for them to do their job. Very, very hard for them to do their job. And he's laying in some nice damage as well. Does end up skill 1 into me. And I think my Charlotte's just going to clean house here. I still have attack buff. And all those AoE, so I got 2 skill 3s in here. Maybe we should count how many skill 3s we actually get through. Very, very nice. And it was clean. Yeah, the Tenny was very, very bulky. It was a counter Tenebria. Okay, the Stoic. Alright, let's see. We're gonna go ahead and ban this out. The interesting thing is that we haven't really seen any... Oh, he banned SSB. That's interesting. So I'm going to end up choosing Last Rider Krau here. And I'm also going to choose Broman. Ah, there's the Ambitious Tywin. Nice. I guess that's to counter this. So is he looking to ban out my Last Rider Krau? And I'm going to want another stripper here or a defense buffer. So I'm going to draft up my Alencia here. And I'm going to pick my Ruel as well. And then I think what I'll do is I'll last pick Arbiter Vildred, because even if he kills it, I can go back in S3 and it'll do humongous damage. Or a Remnant Violet. I think Remnant Violet will be slightly stronger here. See a late Calibrate rather than force to pick 1 or 2? I think so. He picked both of them. Okay, here's what I'll do. Pick this up. I think that I can handle these. I think that I can handle that. I don't think I can handle this. Because if my damage is wasted and he has some type of sustain, I'm going to be in trouble. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ban this out. And I know that he can't kill me turn 1. Okay, this is what we'll do. Watch this guy pick ML Haste now? No way, no way. Yeah, I think we might pick him later inside of the draft once we see ML Tywin's, but I'm more surprised that he ended up picking ML Tywin into my Last Rider Krau. Look at that Hilag Lance right there. So I'm going to skill 3. And I'm going to get my skill 3 off here as well. Maybe I should have just skill 1'd on Broman because I knew it was going to get cleansed. So the Ambitious Tywin can move, but I think he's just going to skill 1. Yeah, I boost up a little bit more with Hilag Lance. RB can let off an S3 here. Lowers my cooldown a little bit. I get the Touch of Freckles proc as well. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to S3. I do end up landing on him as well. Yeah, I think Hilag is definitely the play so that I can push up a little bit more. I pop his Arbiter Vildred. He can S3, but all it's going to do is reduce my cooldown. I didn't get stunned. His ML Tywin wasn't able to do anything there. He's going to go ahead and do this. I get another turn of reduced cooldown. And he can pop my Alencia here. Oh, he went for my Ruel. Okay. Is he lifesteal is the question. He is not lifesteal. I do Hilag Lance again. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and execute this. Even through a miss, it should kill. And I still have immunity, so ML Tywin cannot skill 3. And if he is unable to kill this... Frog Raider. I can bop. I did miss defense break there. So it's going to be a little bit close in terms of damage. And so I guess the only question here is, do I get stunned up for the rest of my life? He is not a damage build, it looks like. He did miss crit. I do have my S3 locked and loaded. I am stunned. I did get the barrier as well. A little bit of a baby barrier there. A lot better on Hilag Lance and a lot better into ML Tywin Raw. He doesn't hit that. I push forward, and I'm going to go ahead and skill 3. Now, he has his cooldown for his ML Tywin skill 3, but he's not going to be able to use it anymore because I have the 2-turn immunity here. So I do creep forward. I get my skill 1 in. The question is he sack? Is he actually the big brain sack user? I skill 1 again. And he's dead. Wow! Very nice! That was pretty good! So we're going to try that alternate draft one more time here, right? Where we throw Krau into a team that's not a full bruiser team. I'm going to see if I can get a somewhat of a control game going with him. He ends up choosing Arbiter Vildred first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to respond with Seaside Bologna, and I think I'm going to take Faithless Lidica off the board as well. He decides to choose Assassin's Sid here. That's perfectly fine. Decides to take off. Never mind, chat. I'm sorry. We have to anti-cleave again.
For the future of Sidonia, okay?
I'll show you how I do things.
But there's no way we survive. There's no way. No, it's not possible. YOLO? Okay, we have to ban this, though, because it's defense break. What a champ. We're doing it for the content. We're doing it for the absolute content, alright? We take Krau here. Now, the problem is that he thought that I was going to ban the auxiliary lots. Obviously, I do not ban the auxiliary lots there. What a mad lad. We got to test it for you. What am I if not content? Now, I do get turn 1 here, which means I can restrict them, which is really nice. Yo, Francis, thanks for the follow, dude. I appreciate that. We do land a triple restrict, and we do neuter his damage slightly here. He's not going to be able to boost, but he can AoE. He tries to tickle me with damage, but I have 2,000 defense. He can go ahead and do something here. I think I'm going to pop this right away. There's no reason for me not to. He's not greater attack buff either. Ooh. He's holding on for dear life here. And my Krau should be able to collect here. I might have wanted to wait and extend for the Krau, but I think any knight would have worked in this slot. Like, this is going to look flashy because it's going to kill both of the damage dealers here, but I don't think it really mattered. Yeah, it doesn't really matter here. It would have been nice, though, if I was unable to bop the Arbiter Vildred early, and then Krau would have given me the 2-turn immunity. Because what that would have meant was that I didn't gain the mischance, so it worked out. So, During our Last Rider Krau testing, we took off the Holy Sacrifice. Obviously, it was garbage. I was stupid for thinking that it was the proper idea to go because he is an absolute unit. He never dies, and when he does, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I think Halag Lance is a lot better. I think you saw in the middle match where he was able to push up a little bit more, get that extra turn cycling in, because people aren't going to want to focus your Last Rider Krau, most obviously, right? He has speed buff, plus the extra CR that he gets from Halag Lance means that he'll get turns a lot faster against those single target teams, because they don't want to throw out AoEs in order to stop your passive from popping off and reducing your cooldown. Do I like Last Rider Krau? Yeah, I think so. I think that I do want a little bit more health on him. If I could lower his defense slightly and give him like 2k more HP, maybe get a little bit more Molagoras into his skill 3, I think it'll be a fantastic unit. I'm just not sure how the alternatives would have worked. There are other knights inside of the game, obviously, right? Cecilia gives immunity. She's fire, and she doesn't add a lot of damage to your team. She has a CC component instead of a damage component. You have units like Fallen Cecilia, which provide that turn 1 protection, so it's going to be a little bit stronger into cleave. But I want to see if they could maybe pair together, and then you would just be able to turtle it down. Maybe I'll try to get a match like that in the future. But for now, this is what I think of Last Rider Krau. I think he's worth it. I think he's a good unit. And I think he'll work in a lot of different teams. I think he can shut down some of the metagame that relies more on debuffs. Maybe if we had gotten a T-Surin game, I'd like him a little bit more, but that's all we have for today. Let me know what you think about ML Krau in the comments down below. And as always, I've been Cafe Kaz, and thanks for watching.